I got to Montreal by taking the Via Rail train. The trip lasted for 5 hours, 30 minutes. I got to Montreal around 6 p.m. I settled in the hotel and I was super excited to go explore the city. The first thing I did to make my life easy was to get the Metro 3-day pass, which is unlimited travel. I knew I wouldn't have to worry about moving around the city or spending crazy Uber fees. And I must say, their metro system is well efficient. And I was really just excited to see the city. After getting my bus pass, I was famished and I was craving amala for some reason. So I looked up Nigerian restaurants and found the Pomadata Cuisine. And let me tell you guys, the service was great, the meal was amazing, it was simply delicious, and you get your money's worth. I finished my meal around 7:30 p.m. The day was still bright, so I decided to explore Montreal's downtown. I was impressed because it was totally different from Toronto. The architecture is beautiful. They found a way to make modern and contemporary buildings blend so beautifully. I walked from Ville Marie to Bonsecours Market, hoping to see the architecture and explore the market since it was free, but it was closed. The audacity I had to show up without checking the closing time is crazy. I didn't let that deter me, so I found my way to Old Montreal. Old Montreal has a mix of both tourists, and locals, and it felt like everyone was here to have a good time. I personally love the warm light. The street is bubbly and very much alive. There are restaurants and cafes, and it's simply beautiful to see the lineup. So I savored every bit of this walk. This is the most beautiful street I've seen in my life, and I'm not even capping. Maybe the distilleries district in Toronto is a great contender. I loved what I saw here. It is beautiful. It was getting really dark, and I'd walked 1,000 steps at that point. So I walked from Old Montreal to the port, where I saw this gorgeous and breathtaking view of the city. Montreal's nightlife is simply beautiful, and I think I know the secret. It's the warm lights. Everything seems so vibrant, and people just love walking here. And they seem alive and cheerful. I was so tired, and I just went back to the hotel to call it a night. So that's the end of my day one in Montreal. My second day in Montreal was a Sunday, and I love Sunday brunch. So I got dressed. I've heard so much about Brasserie 701, and trust me, they didn't disappoint. The food was great, the ambience, perfect, the service was fantastic, and don't get me started with the overall ambience. If I lived in Montreal, I'd become a regular in this restaurant. I finished brunch around 1:30, pulled up my list of places to visit, and chose to see the World Trade Center, mainly because it's close to the brunch place. I can honestly say this is my favorite spot in Montreal. There are a few shops around and people just come here to relax. I was even lucky enough to witness a couple's photo shoot. I love that green door, and I took a beautiful picture by the door. It has a reflecting pool, which added a cool vibe to it for a sunny day, and I absolutely enjoyed being here. It is just beautiful. I would come here to just sit and watch and do nothing. The day was still very young, and I found my way from the World Trade Center to the Biodome. I'd hoped to visit three sites in this location: the Biodome, the Olympic Stadium, and the Planetarium. However, the Olympic Stadium wasn't open to the public, so I just got my ticket for the Biodome, which was about $27. Stepping into the biodome felt like I was in a rainforest. Then I moved to a polar world, all under one roof, all in the same afternoon. It is just beautiful here. I also realized I'm not a fan of tropical rainforest, which is probably because I'm Nigerian. It was really cool to experience this. It was like traveling across continents while staying in the biodome. It was already 4 p.m. when I left the biodome for the planetarium. I was excited to see a show here, but I couldn't as I had missed the last English show of the day, so I stayed about half an hour to explore the gallery, which was free and it was an amazing experience still. My next stop of the day was the Parc-Jean-Drapeau. I took the train from the Biodome to here. I must quickly say the train system is really efficient and has four interconnected lines. I was really impressed. Back to the business of the day, I went to the park mainly to see the city from a different perspective, but unfortunately, there was a concert going on, so I couldn't go past the park to the river for the city skyline. But I made something out of it and I took a walk around the park, enjoyed the lush green space and the quiet path. After spending about 2 hours in the park, I was ready for dinner, so I went back to downtown just in time. I was craving meat, lots of it, so I looked up some restaurants and I found Gyubee. It's a Japanese all-you-can-eat restaurant, and let me tell you, I had lots and lots and lots of meat. Good food for your money's worth, and it's just about $45 for one person. By the time I was done with dinner, it was already 10:30. I took the transit to downtown and took a late night walk on St. Catherine's Bubbly Street. That was a good wrap of my second night in Montreal, and it was truly a fulfilling experience. On day three, I woke up pretty late and I was ready to have a good meal. I've always been a regular at Eggspectation in Toronto, so that's my next stop for brunch. I wanted something good, but that wouldn't disappoint, so I tried their Montreal's location. I had crepe and potatoes, and I started to feel like I was ready to go for another adventure in this great city. After my late brunch, I took a long walk along this cute little mall, and I was so ready and excited to go on the boat cruise planned for later in the day at Old Port. I got to Old Port for the boat cruise for another significant experience. Even though it was a bit cloudy that day due to wildfires, it was still great to see the city from another perspective. You get to see the clock tower and the ferry ride from the boat. The cruise lasted for about 90 minutes and I enjoyed every bit of it. It was my friend's birthday and there was a list of planned activities. So I decided to go back to the hotel to sleep off my heavy brunch because my next stop will be the Notre Dame Basilica of Montreal. I'd already gotten a combo ticket for the Notre Dame Basilica and the boat cruise. I got to the Basilica for the oral experience at 5 p.m. and nothing could have prepared me for the colors inside the Notre Dame. The deep blues, the gold accents, and that peaceful silence. And by the way, you're not allowed to record or take pictures while the show is going on. The show was captivating and it lasted for about 30 minutes, and this is the most magical experience I had in Montreal. To get ready for my friend's birthday dinner, I went back to the hotel to get ready and change into something chic. And while waiting for our reservation time, I went to my hotel's rooftop to just lounge and see the city from up here. The restaurant she picked was a rooftop restaurant, Terrasse Perche, with a beautiful view of Old Montreal. The view is breathtaking and it felt like I was not even in Canada. The food was great, though a little pricey, but the ambience, the company of my friend, I wouldn't trade it. So in my night in Montreal, I took a long walk back to my hotel and I made sure I took some time to enjoy the beautiful scenery of this city. Almost made me want to move to Montreal. I loved it that much. I enjoyed my time here. For my last day in Montreal, I realized I still wanted to see so much before my train leaves at 5:30. Why would I come to the city without trying bagels? This city is known for having the best bagels. I woke up early and took a 30-minute train to get the famous Saint Viateur's Bagel. I tried it as a sandwich with barbecue meat and got some plain bagels to take back with me to Toronto. It was good, and that was my first time trying a bagel, and I wasn't let down. It was almost 1 p.m. when I was done with my sandwich. Then I took a walk along Mont Royal Street. Guys, I absolutely love it here. I found this attraction and literally is like a palm reading machine. And it gave me a message. I love it. I still wanted to see the Bonsecours Market even with my limited time. I arrived at the market and there were stores with local crafts, art, and souvenirs. I chatted with sellers who proudly explained their work and allowed for some bargains. I love this. It's the way local brands are supported here, and it kind of reminds me of home. I got some souvenirs at the market because what a trip without some gifts. From the market, I walked to the mall, and my plan was to just window shop. It's kind of my thing, but that's not the only thing I wanted to do in the mall. When I got into the mall, I entered the underground network from the mall because I'm a fan of Toronto's Path network. I was excited to see Montreal's underground network. I wandered for a bit and it was nice to see it was pretty similar to what we have in Toronto as well. I finally exited the underground network and found a glorious view of Mont Royal Park. I didn't even plan to see the Mont Royal Park. It was 4:13 p.m. at this time. I was willing to take a risk to walk the trail to the park before my train. So I said, why not? I tried hiking up for the view, but I couldn't go further because I wasn't wearing comfortable shoes. Plus, I didn't want to miss my train. I still work as much as I could to see a better view of it. I didn't regret going. Next time in this city, I'll go hiking for sure. From Mont Royal Park, I took a bus to get to Dunn's famous poutine. It was my first time trying it, and it was sumptuous. I didn't know what I was expecting. It just melted. It was hot. The fries, the cheese, the meat, I loved it, and I can't wait to try something as good as that again. After lunch, the time was 5:10 p.m. and my train was for 6 p.m. I needed to get to the hotel, get my luggage, and get to the station. I cut it really close, but fortunately, I had already checked out of the hotel and left my bag with the concierge. So that's it for my Montreal trip. I hope you enjoy watching this video. If you're looking for a trip that feels like traveling the world without leaving Canada, then Montreal is waiting for you. Please like, comment, and share, and I will see you next time.